Hello everyone, the 316 here with another Morphin Monday Lightning Collection review. This time I got the last of the Wave 12 figures, which is Lost Galaxy Green. Retails for $24.99. I had mine pre-ordered on Amazon once he was announced. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at these accessories. So first things first, we got some extra hands. We get a right-fisted hand, which we've seen before, two normal gripping hands, which we'll take a look at on the figure. And we got one of these newer hands, which I don't believe we have seen before. It's an open hand with the pinky and ring finger together, and then these two fingers kind of open. You could put the any accessory in here, really. I tried doing his blaster here, but it didn't work. Anyway, speaking of Quasar sabers, we get two versions. The holstered version really didn't want to pull out of there for some reason. Anyway, we get the holstered version and the regular extended version. As you can see, the extended version has the V, whereas this one doesn't. And if we take a look at the symbols here, the one on the holster version looks a little bit better. The condor, I believe. So there's both of those. We get the... sorry, Damon. Dropped his head. Here it is. We get Damon Henderson's head. I think it looks good, although my lips are painted a little too high there, so it looks a little off. You can really tell when I put to the side. I think this is one of the only actual Power Rangers that has a bald head. I could be wrong, though, but I think this is the first one. At least I looked in my bag of heads, and I didn't see another bald Power Ranger. Alright. And then lastly, two more accessories. If I can pull this out of his hand, we get his version of the... Trans Dagger, I believe it's called, and it comes with this nice effect piece, which can be reused, but because of the size of it, can be a bit challenging to put on other figures. So, for example, let's get Dino Thunder Yellow out here real quick, and get the Thunder Max Blaster. Finally figured out the name, and you can kind of fudge it and make it work, but it's not very tight fit. So there's all your accessories for you. About the standard amount, I'd say, for one of these particular figures. Let's go ahead and take a look at the figure itself. Line them all up. And let's take a look at that helmet. I think that helmet looks good. One thing I did notice off the bat is that it kind of has a lip around where the neck meets. I don't know if that's accurate to the show, but something I noticed immediately. Another thing I want to point out is that on camera this looks like a very dark green. It is brighter in person. I will be bringing on another green figure to look at next to him so you can see that they're very similar. I didn't really have too many issues quality control wise with this figure, but there are some paint issues, like on the side here. Silver's going a little bit off of the visor. On this side it's perfectly fine. Let's see, right here underneath this eye, there's a little bit of like silver, just extra, not supposed to be there. On this side, the condor's eye is misprinted. It's slightly upward, but you can't really notice it too much unless I point it out for you. And then on the back of the helmet, there's a little bit of silver, but that's easily fixable on both of those sections. And he's got a little bit of white on his butt right there. Also, his butt looks much greener than it actually does in person. In person, the colors match a bit better. Okay, my biggest issue with this figure, quality control-wise, is the legs. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Lost Galaxy Red here for an example. So if we take a look at the legs, if you follow the line on this figure, it goes straight down, and it's hard to see on this one, but it still goes straight down, but then it curves, like naturally. Whereas on this one, it goes straight down, and then it immediately just jumps backward. There's something wrong with the knees on my figure, and I don't know why, but you can see these ones, they fold up nice and flush, but there's just a little bit of gappage right towards the top of those knees. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I've tried looking to see if there's like extra plastic up here, or there's extra plastic somewhere on this joint at all, but I just can't find any. And sometimes it does go more flush, but it's still pretty out of whack. Again, here's with this knee, you can see. Sometimes it goes up, but then it immediately goes back down. So Standing him was an issue at first. Another issue I had with this figure, but it's an easy fix, is the same I had with Mighty Morphin Black Adam, where the head did not want to come off. Now it comes off pretty easily. It still scares me, though. And while I'm here, I might as well put on the civilian head sculpt so you can see what he looks like. Reminiscent of the legendary battle, I guess. Man, it doesn't age. Oh. Okay, at least that head comes off pretty easily. Ooh, I did not like how that fit on there. But anyway, the way that this helmet is molded, there's a lot of articulation you can do with it. So that's nice. Otherwise, he's got the standard Lightning Collection articulation. And one last thing I did notice, which isn't really noticeable from this angle, but the pattern here on the zigzag, it's very off right here, even compared to the other two figures that have that zigzag pattern currently. If I can line them up, it's not nearly as bad. Come on, stand up, Leo. And then let's get Kai in here and we can take a look at that side. I think Kai's came out the best. Leo's and Damon's are a little off. From the front, they all look good. And since they're here, I guess we can do the size comparison portion. They all stand at the exact same height of just about 6 1/4 inches. And here is the Magna Defender as well. I have trouble standing him up sometimes. But yeah, Lost Galaxy's looking good. Hope to see pink and yellow soon. I hear that pink is coming in the next wave, Kendrick's. Although I wish that came in a 2-pack with Psycho Pink, because I still need to get the rest of the Psychos that weren't released individually. Anyway, let's take these guys out. And let's go ahead and stick in wave... Or actually, no, we'll go with the Green Ranger next, since I promised it. You can definitely see how Damon's a bit more saturated green than Zeo Green. Zeo Green's like a nice emerald jewel green, whereas this is more of a forest green, which makes sense given this is more of a nature-themed suit. Alright, and then let's get Wave 12 in here, and since he's here, let's stick that back in there. There we go. So let's start with the first figure we saw, and I think it was this. Yeah, this was the first figure I did the review for Wave 12 on. We got Dino Thunder Yellow. Sometimes I have trouble standing her. And then the review I did next was Black Adam. Although I did give him the power axe, as you can see. He does not come with that normally. And lastly, Wild Force Blue. Honestly, I think this is a really good wave. One of these figures is skippable because, you know, we've gotten it re-released before and it doesn't come with the power axe. But if you want it for the helmet, like I did, because I only had Dragon Shield Black, then yeah, I think this is a good wave overall. I think it's mostly representative of the early parts of the show. You know, some of the better seasons, arguably. Also, another thing to point out with this wave is that these two were from the Once a Ranger team up. And actually, yeah, 3 of these suits have been in a team up proper. It's only Max that hasn't come back for any seasons as far as I know. Obviously, the suit has shown up in like Legendary Battle, but anyway. One last thing to note about this particular figure is that some people are reporting that theirs comes with the diamonds on the boots. Mine is okay, thankfully. So I'm not too worried about that, but it's a good thing that these figures are still the window boxes, because you can easily see if he's got the wrong boot pattern on or not. And there's the rest of your sides of the box there. Nice, really rich dark green up there. But anyway, if you're a completionist for, you know, Lost Galaxy, you're going to want this figure. Do note that with the trans dagger that he has, putting it in the hand is okay, but it's at a weird angle. So when you lift it up, you're going to have to twist the elbow, or not elbow, you're going to have to twist the wrist out of place. But otherwise, it looks fine. You can get him in some really nice flight poses, you know, because he's the Condor, the flying ranger of the team, even. I think the green color is nice. I don't really... I've never really been a big fan of these suits, but I think that the figures have turned out excellent, especially this one. The helmet on this one, I've grown on over time. I think it's actually very similar to Dino Thunder Yellows, which is also in this wave. They're both flying creatures, very similar visor shape. Uh, not one of the more popular like characters, but one of the more important ones, I'd argue, in that season. Even though he's not, at least he didn't really do too much other than just fixing stuff. But anyway, good season. Go give it a watch if you haven't. Good figure. Buy it if you really want it. Although $24.99 still a high asking price for these action figures, especially with how little accessories you get compared to another one of Hasbro's first party lines like G.I. Joe Classified. Expect a review on him sometime soon. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, it helps out a lot, as well as leaving a comment and letting me know down below what you think of this figure, or if you're excited to see what else Hasbro has in store for this line. I plan on pre-ordering the Alien Rangers when Mountain Dew Nation HQ, the gift cards are back in stock. But anyway, thank you guys for watching again. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. It also helps out a lot. And as always, peace.